We're on part 4 and over 700 miles into our far northwestern California and southern Oregon adventure, and finally ready to take on the Siskiyou Crest. So far, we'd managed to explore the Smith River NRA and the western part of the Rogue River Siskiyou National Forest, but this last leg of the route would require us to summit the Siskiyou Crest high peaks if we were to make our way to Ashland, Oregon. This past winter had seen record amounts of snowfall in California, and we weren't super confident that all of the high mountain passes would be clear of snow. To make matters more difficult, one of the rigs was dealing with a leaky tire, and there'd be no shortage of challenges along the way. Would we make it to Ashland? What sort of carnage awaits the Big Blue Ram? Tune in to find out as we take on the Siskiyou Crest Adventure Trail. Excited for what was in front of us, we broke camp nice and early, our grins nearly as bright as the brilliant blue southern Oregon sky. And I gotta admit, we didn't have much of an itinerary for the day other than to follow the GPS track and take in the awesome alpine views that surrounded us. We aimed straight for the Siskiyou Crest, but it wasn't long before I noticed the pressure dropping yet again on my front left tire.
It's not.
Get a little situation here. The tire was holding yesterday, but today, not holding. So we're trying to figure out if we can push it back in, or if we're gonna change it.
This was the second time in just as many days that the tire plug started to leak. I figured we'd give it one last shot, pulling out the old plug and reinserting a sticky new plug into the oversized puncture. We did a quick water test and the plug appeared airtight, but would it hold? Got a fun little section of trail, pretty eroded out. Looks like we could have gotten around the easy way, but hey, this is what we chose, so gonna have some fun. This certainly wasn't the most technical trail, but I swear the camera just ain't doing it justice. With shrubs and small trees encroaching the trail from all sides, it was clear this wasn't a well-traveled trail. And we'd prove it by the numerous pinstripes both of our rigs picked up along this short stretch of track. After upgrading to a full-size rig about 18 months ago, I was feeling rather confident on tighter tracks like this one. Andreas pushed right on through with his Ford F-250 in what seemed like record time. The trails ahead would seem like a superhighway compared to this rutted and bushwhacked section of trail. So good so far. If you'd like to get more information about the Siskiyou Crest Adventure Trail, please head over to overlandtrailguides.com. At the site, you'll find useful information like a descriptive route guide, GPX files, technical ratings, best season to visit, vehicle recommendations, and more. Overland Trail Guides features the internet's most extensive collection of curated overland routes in North America. All right, guys, we are on the Sea Fork. I believe this is of the Applegate River here. Got a great little spot just to have some lunch and a snack, but we are heading up into the Siskiyou Crest. It's gonna be a lot of fun. The roads are a lot more manicured than some of the stuff we've hit the last few days. You saw that tricky section that we hit. That's kind of an alternative route. That's not necessarily the way that you would go, but you know, it was fun. Maybe a little bit tight with some of those branches, but that's just how it goes. Did you find Shasta? Beautiful little creek. Shasta, are you having fun on this trip? It was like a puppy vacation. You get to be off leash every time we get out of the truck. You want to say hi? Hi. You're not getting my cookie. Sorry, that's why she's up here. After lunch, we continued on our way, ascending higher and higher into the mountains. The well-graded forest road soon turned into a narrow two-track. Off in the distance, I could see the craggy Whiskey Peak rising out of the pines. As we circumvented Whiskey Peak, the road turned into a steep and loose jeep track, which unfortunately I didn't manage to film. The views were absolutely outstanding, and both Andreas and I agreed this was one of our favorite sections of track.
Just hear it. Well, tire's leaking air again. It was holding for, I don't know, 90 minutes, and then Shasta's having fun. It's definitely leaking. Not too bad right now, but we're just gonna pull it off. It doesn't make sense. Yeah, it's coming out. I can hear it all the way over here. So we're just gonna pull it off, but not a bad place. It's part of the Siskiyou Crest to change a tire.
With only a simple tire swap needed, we were done and ready to hit the dirt in no time, which was really a bit of a shame given the view of the Red Buttes wilderness behind us. Pro tip, if you get the chance to explore Whiskey Peak, there's an old skid road near the summit that leads to a campsite with absolutely otherworldly views. After swapping the tire, we continued on our way, hoping to bypass 20 or so miles of pavement around Applegate Reservoir by taking the dirt road up Elliott Creek, which we knew might be gated. And well, what do you know? I guess the leaky tire was a bit of an omen, and we should have known the gate would be closed. So we burned about 45 minutes of pavement around the reservoir and hit the dirt and climbed higher and higher into the Siskiyou Crest.
You want some burger tonight? Yeah? Maybe, just maybe, we'll give Shasta a little bit of burger tonight.
Hey man, your burger smell is contaminating my camper.
You should move your camper then. Since Shasta's been such a good girl, she's gonna get some dinner of her own, huh? What is this dish that you love?
Affectionately known as fancy eggs. Start with some potato, we dice it up, get it going, make almost like a hash brown.
All right.
Throw in a little pepper. Normally there's an onion in here, but I seem to have used all my onion.
It was Sasquatch. I saw him running down the Pacific Crest Trail. He stole it.
I had to throw something at him.
Yep.
I'm gonna go a little ham, and then probably about 8 eggs, all scrambled on top, all in a yummy thing with some of my, secret ingredient, Tuscan salt.
If I ate eggs, I would eat this.
This is so much food.
That looks delicious for somebody that eats eggs.
Oh, so much food.
Oh my gosh. So we apparently moved into quite the little trail party here. Lots of folks up this way because lots of snow and Sierra. But hey, nice to meet a lot of really nice people up here. Through hiking all the way to the Canadian border. Just killing some time here at the crossroads of the Pacific Crest Trail. Met a couple of cool groups already, which we've showed you. So change of plans. You can see we're not on the Pacific Crest Trail because that thing started to go straight downhill and I didn't want to walk back uphill. So we're gonna go check out this other area. There's a little skid trail around the corner and see if it has a view. Come on, Shasta. She was chasing a rabbit earlier and I had to call her over. Yep. See a lot of snow on these north-facing slopes, so we'll see what happens tomorrow. All right, let's get Shasta. Oh,
Oh, you're lucky that disintegrated. All right, guys. I think perhaps this little hike with Shasta may have panned out. Looks like we're gonna get a really good vista up here. There's a break in the trees. Let's go check it out. That morning, we reveled at all of the hardy souls we'd met at camp who would be trudging northward towards the Canadian border along the Pacific Crest Trail. We jumped in our rigs, ready to explore the lush green meadows of the Siskiyou Crest, but unsure if we'd be able to make it over the crest and into the town of Ashland, Oregon below. The weather couldn't have been more perfect, but weather can sometimes be deceiving, and things would take a turn for the worse later that day. Well, we knew there was a reasonable chance we'd run into a snowdrift, and that's exactly what happened. Andreas's rig started to slide downslope on the hard-packed icy snow. With Ashland out of the picture, we opted to take our chances heading south for the pass at Condrey Mountain along the California-Oregon border. All right. Snowbanks hit at about 6,800 feet that are impassable. It was looking really promising the last third of a mile too. Kind of this open high alpine prairie here, but it's not happening. So off to plan C, gonna drop on some lower elevation trails, try to get down to Klamath River. And then if that doesn't work, plan D is basically we're gonna backtrack, drop down to the Applegate Reservoir and be burning pavement for a while. All right, let's see what happens. We anxiously headed down the mountain, hoping the roads would be clear, and as luck would have it, the third time would be a charm in our case. Andreas and I rendezvoused at the charming Quigley Station along the Klamath River for lunch. Andreas decided he'd head back to home to see his family, so we said our goodbyes. But I wasn't ready to go home just yet, at least so I thought. I took the incredibly scenic Highway 3 south deep into the Klamath Mountains, my destination, a quaint alpine lake near the Trinity Alps. Several days earlier on our trip, I'd hit a boulder with my front right tire on a tight section of trail. My kink shock must have been holding on by a thread, but couldn't withstand the sustained off-roading over the next several days, and it finally sheared off. I figured I'd make it to camp and head home early in the morning, but that's when I found myself in another pickle. I made it under this tree the first time with no problem, but after hitting a bunch of deadfall on the way to the lake, I decided to turn around, and then I got stuck. After doing a significant amount of chainsaw work on top of a slippery and sloped camper, I managed to clear the path for the ram. With light rain coming down and a shattered fan hood atop my camper, I decided to go home bruised but definitely not beaten. We'll catch you out there next time on the trail. If you'd like to get more information about the 311-mile Siskiyou Crest Adventure Trail, please visit our website at overlandtrailguides.com. Godspeed and safe travels.